Okay, here we go.
Okay.
We're no more messing around.
You already hit record.
That's why I said no more messing around.
That's what you're doing right now.
Look, I'm so excited.
You're messing around.
I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control and freak out. You got nothing to say to that?
I'm just disappointed.
Welcome back to Talking Story. My name is John Minton. I'm gonna start hitting you up at the beginning too.
I gotta come up with both now?
Well, you could just use your God-given name.
I should get a pay raise for this, I think. This feels like extra work.
I'll double your pay.
Okay. From zero?
There you go. It's easy to make that budget happen.
Yeah. I'll go with Jakob Minton.
Man, this is a special day.
Isn't it?
This is a special day. Look, I can't believe it. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around that half of the year is come and gone.
Over half.
I mean, it's insane. Absolutely insane to me that it's been this fast. And it's time for us to kind of take stock, look back at what we've read, what we've accomplished. And let me just start off and say this. I've read, I don't have an exact count. I've read, I think, 40 some odd books so far this year, right? I don't do that thing in Goodreads. I don't say I want to read this many books or this many pages or this. I don't set goals like that because I don't want to stress myself out. For me, it's like I don't care how many pages it is. I don't care if it's thick or small. If it's a story I want to get into, I don't care how much time it takes. That's what I want to spend my time doing. So I don't like to put goals or guardrails or restraining things on my reading time.
Right.
So it just is, it is what it is. So I think it's been around 40 books or so. I didn't really count. So, and it's time to look back. I mean, where are we at? How is the reading year going? Those things that are important, the characters we've encountered, the stories we've gone through, our favorites, things that let us down a little bit. And there's no better way to do that than recognize that we were tagged.
You were tagged.
We were tagged. It happens on BookTube. Wera tagged us, an amazing channel. We're going to link it right down there, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out Vera's channel, she's so fun. Great channel. Check it out. And she did the mid-year FREAKOUT tag and tagged us. So not only did she tag us, she actually gave us a heads up and said, "Hey, I'm going to tag you."
Oh, that was courteous.
So I wanted to do a mid-year kind of where are we at, what's going on anyway, and it's like, I'll just do this. Why not? Why not just do the tag?
It worked out.
Yeah, just do this. It's kind of fun, and
she gave you a heads up, so that means you're prepared for a while, right?
Well,
or did you just cobble all this together today?
Which would you think happened?
I know what happened.
One of the things I'm not going to miss when you move out is you knowing everything that's going on around here. That
is true.
Yeah.
I think I'll still have a pretty good idea.
Look, I don't like to put a lot of stress on myself. These questions I can answer. I don't have to angst over them, although I did angst over them for a little bit.
No, of course.
There's some that were some were harder than others.
Right.
Right? But I've got 13 questions here. Kind of sums up where we've been, what we've done for the year here on BookTube. So let's just get going.
Okay.
Let's get going. Number 1 is best book of the year so far.
That's a big one.
That's a biggie. Like, we start off big, right?
Yeah, how do you start with that?
I just copy the questions down. That's number 1.
Okay.
So look, best book of the year for me, I started it. This was at the beginning of the year. And for me, it hasn't been overcome. It's very close. Very close.
Well, we'll get into what's close in a second.
Yeah, we'll get into what's close with question number 2. But I gotta go Song for Arbonne by Guy Gavriel Kay. So far, my favorite of the year. It's just, the prose is like a bard's sonnet. It's just lyrical and beautiful. And it's about everything, relationships and expression and whatever you would think is most important in your life, the way you see the world. And it's one of those amazing packages where this is not the beginning of a series. This wraps up with a bow, like it's going under a Christmas tree. It's just perfectly satisfying. It is all encompassed in one small package. The characters, heartbreaking, thrilling. I was my first Guy Gavriel, I was absolutely blown away. And I don't think as a full overall package, this has been eclipsed.
Really?
This next question is extremely close, but I don't think this has been eclipsed because the lush prose is just, you have to go back and read a couple lines over again because it's just stunning. As well as the story just carries you away, the characters get under your skin, and it's just so succinctly plotted. It wraps up so satisfying in one book. So I just as a favorite one package, here it is. I gotta say, so far it has not been eclipsed this year.
Great start.
It was a great start.
Yeah, it was pretty close to the top of the year, right?
I mean, I think it was like, it had to probably be one of the first 2-3 books I read this year.
And you sang its praises for a long time.
And it's still, I think I still have to pick this for like best overall of the year.
Well, what's your runner-up?
Not runner-up, but the second question.
Oh, okay.
The second question is best sequel so far. And I didn't have to think hard at all because I wrapped it. Now, hey, this is completely different. I wrapped this up in the 6th month of the year, not the beginning of the year, the 6th month.
Everyone could tell it was Oathbringer because of how thick it was.
Because the girth.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell, absolutely. But this is by far the best sequel I have read this year. You know what? The more time away, the more I'm letting the dust settle.
Oh, you're going to say it's better than Words of Radiance, are you?
This is kind of overtaking Words of Radiance for me.
Really?
It's just because Dalinar is my guy.
Now, I'm asking this because I genuinely don't know. Is that an unpopular opinion?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Probably, but I'm such a Dalinar fan. Like, I'm Dalinar. I'm Dalinar. If they ever adapt this and they don't hire me to play Dalinar, they made a horrible mistake.
I don't see that happening.
Take that, movie star that they hire.
Unless something incredible happens at Dragonsteel, I don't see that.
No, I don't. Yeah, no, I'm joking, absolutely. But look, to peel back the layers and look into his backstory and see from where he came, this heartbreaking darkness, and then really the culmination of all these characters and how they are broken in different individual ways and how they have to overcome that, and the importance of that inner quest of overcoming that will allow them to do what they need to do, what history's calling them to do. But this one really focused on Dalinar and his dark, dark past. And I was impressed that Sanderson went there. Like, I didn't know he had that gear. It was gut-wrenching. It was heartbreaking. It was difficult stuff. It was some definitely difficult themes, and I just ate it up with a spoon. I loved it so much. And, didn't quite have the Sanderlench that Words of Radiance had. Did have a Sanderlench, though, but not quite the same. But just for me, my connection to Dalinar, I just think this is going to have a special place for me. And I know some people, this is where they start to kind of get off, get their ticket punched and get off, because it's like it spends a lot of time in the weeds about the magic system as things start, as curtains start getting pulled aside. But I just love that the 3-tier reality and how the magic system bleeds through all and the story bleeds through all. And it was just, for me, the philosophy of it I really liked. And without it, it's easy question for me. Best sequel so far I've read this year.
I knew you were going to pick it.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what happens with, I think Rhythm of War, I think, is the fourth book. So,
who people say is usually their least
they're
favorite.
Usually their least favorite. So we'll see what happens. But most people wouldn't put this over Words of Radiance. And I look, the further I get away, there are just moments and revelations of Dalinar's character that I'm going to carry that. Like, that's going to be with me. Like, it's not going away. So he's my guy. He's my absolute guy. Question number 3 is new releases you haven't read yet, but really want to. Now, I might be able to get to these because what do we do here once a month around here? We do a Patreon read. So one of these could be recommended and voted by these amazing humans right here.
They are amazing.
These people, let me tell you, these people are...
They're getting ready to vote tomorrow.
They're getting ready to vote tomorrow for next month. But I mean, look, you're lucky if you meet a handful of people of this quality, and somehow we have found all of these. It's unbelievable. All of them. I said them and these in the same. That came out really weird. But all of these amazing humans we have found, and they're helping us build this channel. They make decisions. They make the decisions around here, and let's face it, that's a blessing because we're not good at it.
No.
And they keep us going. They keep the lights on, all this kind of stuff, all the way up to taking over our channel and getting their own material, their own content on this channel. If you would like to find out how that's possible or how that works out, right down there in the description box, the Patreon button, click that. You can learn all about it if you have any interest at all. But once a month they vote and they throw a book in there, and we pick we bring in Mr. Pooh, we pick a ball. So one of these could make it.
They could
make it, or maybe I got some extra time in a month or something, or squeeze one of them in. But I've got 2. These are very, very recent releases. Actually, I think like last month.
Oh, wow.
And I ordered them in immediately. And the first one is Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay, because I'm just a Paul Tremblay fan. Like ever since I read Head Full of Ghosts and then Cabin in the Woods, let me tell you, that's a quick hitter. And he will pack so much into that. He packs a lot of creep factor into a quick hitter like this. And just like Head Full of Ghosts, I loved it because it was dealing with the entertainment industry and a haunting. And I think this does the same thing. And kind of going through that artistic medium myself, it just hits so well with me. So absolutely I want to get to this because I'm a huge Paul Tremblay fan. And this is an author I have not tried yet. And I just am so itching to try Adrian Tchaikovsky. And look, this is not crazy long. And this is service model. It's a service model robot, I think, that goes a little boop, boop. And, what happens. Bad things. And so maybe I can squeeze this in because I hear such amazing things, and what I hear makes me think I'm really going to connect to this author. And I really want to give him a try. So, I mean, these are the 2 that have just come out I really want to get to before the end of the year. And hopefully I'll be able to.
Well, I know that Tchaikovsky was on this month's Patreon read, but I don't think it was service model, was it?
No, I don't think it was.
It was a different one.
I can't remember what it was. Was he on the list?
Oh, he was on the list. I know that.
Okay, well, maybe I'll be trying him sooner than later. But that's it for me. Now, number 4. This is easy. I think everyone's going to have the same answer to this question.
All right.
Number 4 is most anticipated release of 2024. Come on. You know what that has to be.
Yeah.
That's got to be Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson, because we're going to be at Dragonsteel to pick up my copy, my signed copy, and just meet everybody we can and enjoy the party that is going to be Dragonsteel this year as he wraps up Arc 1 of Stormlight Archive. It's gonna be nerd prom off the hook, and I cannot wait to be there. I cannot wait for you to go with me, kind of like a father-son trip, and meet. Hopefully we meet a lot of people in person that we've met during the BookTube journey.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast.
It's gonna be unbelievable, but that has to be it for me. Easy, hands down, easy answer to that question.
Well, I think it is for everyone.
Yeah, gotta be, right? Ooh, number 5.
What's number 5?
Number 5 is the biggest disappointment. I don't have the book here because I did read an advanced copy electronically. And that was Book of Love by Kelly Link. And I'm a huge Kelly Link fan. I have loved her short fiction. She is a master at short fiction in this genre, and I cannot recommend any of her collection. Grab any of them. and you will see what I mean. Like, she's just special. And this was her first full-length novel, and it just didn't connect with me. Obviously, I think I'm not the right audience that she was shooting for. I think she was shooting for a younger audience, a bit of a younger reader, and I bet it will connect with those type of readers in that stage of their life. For me, the character motivations just didn't quite ring true for me. What was going on in the world, they just seemed to be a little bit self-involved and not behaving as I would as an older guy who's walked the planet a little bit longer. So I just had issues that just didn't connect with me, and that was my biggest disappointment because I was so looking forward to Kelly Link's first full novel.
Yeah. I remember you were very upset that you had to do a review on that and you didn't.
Yeah, and I look, just like I said in that review, like there is no doubt in my mind that book is the absolute one of the favorites of the year for an army of readers.
Sure, yeah.
And you absolutely, if you think you may be one of them, I hope you find it because I love Kelly Link. It just didn't connect with me. So it's just just one of those things. Every piece of art is not for everybody because we carry ourselves into it in the interpretation of it. So
every book has a biggest fan.
Yeah, absolutely. So number 6, what has been the biggest surprise of this year? And I don't have this book either. Maybe you can throw the cover up.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Because I read it electronically as well, because my wife already had it and she'd been pushing me to read it for a long time. And followers of this channel already probably know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about City of Thieves by David Benioff. I was surprised by this one. I did not think it would be all that it's got, like, if I was putting together a top list for the year so far, as opposed to just answering, it would be, I bet you, in the top 3.
Really?
Maybe
top 3?
Maybe 5, top 3, top 5. It would be way up there. It was a real surprise for me how much I love that book.
Top 3 is crazy.
Yeah. It might be. It might be. Now, I would have to angst over that. But so much in that book. Oh, a thin volume. And I've had some of you out there have read it right after we read it, or along with us, and you all have said the same thing. Oh, what a ride in so few pages. Unbelievable. It is the entirety of the human experience, from depravity to triumph, in just a crazy amount of pages, and is so immediate because it feels so real, because it's torn from a family's history, and it is so impactful. It'll hit you right here and right here. The themes are just done beautifully. The characters are just done beautifully. Some bizarre way, it has a wonderful stream of humor throughout the darkest of times that it's portraying. It was just so much in one slim volume, and I'm telling you, it's way up there this year for me. And I was not expecting that. I was expecting to like it.
Sure.
But it's not my normal genre, my usual jam that I would normally pick up. And man, I was shocked. I was blown away.
Well, you didn't expect to like it enough to listen to Mom when she told you to read it.
That's not true.
How is that not? That's exactly what you did.
That's not true. I'm not getting sucked into that again. Okay, number we're up to 7. Number 7 is favorite new author.
Oh, okay.
Favorite new author of the year. So look, I've been trying to wrap up a lot of series this year. I'm reading a lot. Some authors that I just discovered last year, but they're not new for this year. I haven't really had a lot of new authors for this year, but one that I did have, and this was kind of a shock to me how much I liked this, was Robert Jackson Bennett's The Tainted Cup.
Oh, yeah.
This, I cannot wait for book 2. I cannot wait to branch out and read some other Robert Jackson Bennett, because this just, I'm telling you, the world, that biopunk world, that mystery, that Holmesian feel to some of these characters, just delightful characters that are just quirky. As the world layers get peeled back further and further as you investigate this mystery and you find out more about the characters and more about the world, every single layer that it goes through just leaves you wanting book 2 more and more and more. And he just blended so many threads into this tapestry of fantasy, body horror, mystery, investigative. There's just, and everything was just pitch perfect. A little bit of humor, some great character interaction, some wonderful social mirror work as far as classism and strata of society. It's just a really, really great beginning to what I hope is going to be an amazing, amazing series, and I can't wait for book 2. So I would say Robert Jackson Bennett, first book of his I read this year, he would absolutely be my new fave.
You're invigorated.
Yeah. Come on, these books I find invigorating.
You've had a good year.
I've had an amazing year. Like, I don't know what the second half of the year, but the first half of the year has been top notch. Like, maybe my best reading year all time.
You're not even done.
And I'm halfway through, right? Like, how crazy is that?
That is crazy.
Yeah, it really is crazy. Okay, so we're all the way up to 8. Number 8. New favorite character. I could not narrow this down. I had to do 2.
Oh, okay.
I had to do 2. I got to go all the way back to the first answer. I have to do Bertrand Deltalaire. Oh, this guy, this character, this aging Lothario that has tried to fill this hole of his life since he's bereft at losing his young lover, but he's saddled on and he's a politician, an artist, a bard, a singer, a performer, a master swordsman. He is absolutely everything rolled up into one sarcastic, sardonic package. It's just amazing, some of the lines he has, some of the moments he has of pathos looking back over his life now that he's lived so much of it, and what he's lost and what he's tried to fill that hole of loss with. Just, it's such amazing character work. Absolutely way up. One of my favorite characters of the year.
That's high praise.
Yeah. And I could not include, I got to do 2. I got to do this because Janny Wirtz's Mikhail is also just hits me right here. This person that you don't see coming, this investigator that you think, oh, he's hiding what he has behind a bush. Doesn't want everyone to know. He's got him right where he wants them. He's going to lull them into a false sense of security and solve this crime. And then as the book goes on, you start to realize so much more of his dark past, why he was hiding himself behind that bush, why he didn't want to be put out there, why he allows himself to be put out there because of his honor and his duty and his history, that he does not want to fail again. And as each of these layers is peeled away, it is just such a beautiful revelation of character. And it just spoke to me. It's so amazingly portrayed in these pages. If you haven't done this yet, that's not the only character I love from this, but it just hit me just so well. Somehow he holds on to his grace and his dignity, even in the moments when the society and the world around him is degrading him, because that is what is accepted and what has to happen in that society. He never loses his integrity, grace, dignity, duty, honor, moving forward, answering not only to his society's ideals of honors, but to his own of what he feels he has to do and he alone can do to solve what's going on here. Cannot recommend this enough. And absolutely a character that's going to live right here for a long, long time. So I had to have 2.
From the wonderful Janny Wirtz.
From the amazing Janny Wirtz. What's up next? New fictional crush.
Oh, wow. Okay.
New fictional crush. All right, I got to take a drink. And this is, I just finished this.
Days ago, but it was last month, so it was the first 6 of the year. And I got to go with Monza from Best Served Cold. I know nothing about this character.
Let me tell you, a lot of people would not have a crush on this character. She is brutal. She is vicious. You do not want to be too close to her, but at the same time, she is so passionate and she is so loyal and she is, even though it's very, very flawed, she loves. And she's on a journey to become a better person as she goes forward, and as she goes forward on this. I mean, no spoilers, but it's a journey of vengeance by the title. As she goes through this journey of vengeance, she starts to have questions about her past and herself, and if she wants to be better, if she wants to be fully realized. She starts to understand the consequences that this journey is bringing about, not only to her, but to the world at large around her, what that means. I love her fire and her fury and her passion.
Okay, calm down.
She's just, her blood runs hot.
Relax.
And she is my new fictional crush.
You got a video with Mom coming out in 2 days.
Yeah, well, she's my long-lasting crush.
Okay.
Every bit as passionate.
I am uncomfortable.
Okay, so, book that made me happy.
Oh, that could be any of them.
It could be any of them, right? This is number 10, book that made me happy. And look, this is what happens when a book hits everything that you have anticipated it, and it hits exactly as you want it to hit. Ever since I read Jay Kristoff's Empire of the Vampire, I had been waiting for book 2. Empire of the Damned came out this year, and it just did exactly what I wanted it to do. It expanded that world. It gave me back that bloody Grand Guignol theater feel of this epic fantasy world. It just hit on all cylinders, everything I wanted. Disgusting, bloodthirsty characters, all the way down to expanding the world. So when something comes across, it's like, I've been anticipating it for that long, and it comes across and hits every note that you wanted it to. That makes me happy.
Well, there you go.
So this book absolutely made me happy. Number 11, book that made me cry.
Is there a book that's made you cry?
You know what? This would have been easy to answer last year. Because last year I read the Empire trilogy by Raymond E. Feist and Janie Wirtz, and I did cry at the end of, I think, each of those 3 books.
Well, it was also nostalgic for you, wasn't it?
They're very much so, but just it took me back, and just the feeling of triumph of spirit at the end of those 3 books really got to me. But this year, I think what has gotten at closest, and I think I'm not saying I ugly cried. But I had a little lip quiver, and I had like the single Denzel tear. I had a little bit of a moment with, again, you put it right up here, City of Thieves by David Benioff.
Really?
Yeah. And it's because he did that magic trick to me. I kind of, at the end, getting into this book, you're starting to feel like, this world is so brutal. It's going to be very hard for, all of our beloved characters to make it out. And then he starts to work that magic trick for you. It's like, I think we're going to be okay. And the closer we get, we were going to be okay. We are going to be okay. And then it's like a magic trick. It's like, no, it's exactly what you thought. And it just still takes you by surprise. It still comes down like just a ton of bricks on you. Even though you saw it coming from way back, he masked it. And just there was so much subterfuge of what he was working on, and then when he unveiled it, even though you might have seen it coming earlier, he did this magic trick to where it still just affects you at the end.
Wow.
So that's the one for me. Got me a little bit.
Does that mean that you ugly cried with the Empire trilogy?
It was a little bit closer of an ugly cry for the Empire trilogy.
You had like the sharp inhales and the
Yeah, it was a little bit more of an ugly cry for that. Number 12. You can answer this one too, I bet.
Oh, I don't even know what it is.
Number 12, favorite book to movie adaptation so far of the year.
Oh.
Gotta be Dune 2.
Yeah, I haven't read the book, but the movie was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought, as a flick, I absolutely loved it. And they did stray from the book, and I understand why, and I understand some people aren't happy with it. Some people are happy with it. As a movie experience, me and you going out to the theater together, I was fully satisfied, had a great time. And that was just an easy answer for me.
I can't even think of another book to movie adaptation from this year other than Dune 2.
I can't think of one I've seen. I mean, I'm sure there've been some.
Oh, surely there has. It's just the one that immediately comes to mind.
Yeah, I don't leave my Fortress of Solitude very often.
You do not.
Yeah, so that one.
Oh, you got Deadpool and Wolverine coming up.
Well,
gotta leave for that.
We are going to leave for that, absolutely. This is the last and final question of my mid-year book freakout tag.
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13. Books that I need to read by year's end. And there's
the rest of the Cosmere.
I mean, I could be here for a long, long time and list like a whole lot of books that I really need to read before the end of the year. I've got stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks that I want to get to. But I do think the most important that I need to get to is the whole rest of the Cosmere. Yeah, I look. We want to be at Dragonsteel, and I'm caught up, and I'm waiting for that final of the first arc of Stormlight being completely caught up. So I have 5 more. I have 5 more books to read. And I will be entirely caught up with the Cosmere. It's one a month.
And one of them is quite large.
And I've got one more quite large. Yeah, Rhythm of War.
What are you got? Rhythm of War. You got Sunlit Man.
Well, I got my reading list right here.
You got Yumi and the Nightmare Painter.
Yeah. See, you seem to know. I got Dawn Shard, which is this month.
Right. That's a little one.
Yeah, not bad. Lost Metal, which will wrap up Mistborn Era 2.
Okay.
That's not crazy thick. I've got after that probably either Rhythm of War or Yumi the Nightmare Painter. I might flip those back and forth, and then Sunlit Man.
I mean, you're gonna finish off with Sunlit Man?
Yeah, I think that all the reading lists say put that one last.
Wow. Okay.
Because that one is supposed to be the furthest as far as linear time goes, the furthest in the Cosmere that he's written. It's kind of got a sci-fi feel, I think.
Gotcha. All right.
So I'll be in. That will be November before we go in December. Will be Sunlit Man. So I got 5 left, and those are I've been on this quest for a long time, and we need to be ready and finished by December.
You're close, man.
Very close.
Mazel tov for pushing your way through all that. That was a lot of reading.
You know what? It's been very enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's been a great time. I don't think there's been one that I'm going to say White Sand.
You were not super hot on White Sand.
And I don't think he is either.
Yeah.
Because one of the things he says he wants to do is rewrite that in a prose
I see.
fashion. It was a comic release, and he wants to rewrite the prose version. And I think he wants to do it because he's not entirely happy with how it came out. Interesting. Yeah. So, and I see this about him. I see him reworking moments and themes and motifs over and over again until he feels like he kind of nails it and gets it right.
I remember you said when you started it, and you went through Elantris and some of the stuff in the beginning, and you got to Warbreaker, and I felt like, oh, you finally did.
You took what you've been doing and knocked it out of the park in a certain way. Yeah. So I'm not surprised at all he's going back to White Sand, because if I were to pick one that I thought, but I'm sure
with the amount of reading he's done to have one like
exactly, and that one is the one that they
or writing. Excuse me.
They took his story notes and stuff and created a comic. It's not that he actually wrote it.
Yeah.
So for all the rest to go, I mean, it's a sliding scale. I enjoy some more than others, but there hasn't been one that I thought, that just wasn't for me. White Sand was the closest to that, I would say.
Well.
So there you go. How has the beginning of your year been? I hope it has been every bit as good as mine, if not better. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know, what is your favorite of the year? What was your disappointment of the year? What do you absolutely have to get to before 2025? Comments are everything to us. We started this channel because I want to talk to people that love books, love the kind of books I love. It has been such a joy meeting all of you and talking with you. So I'm going to answer your comments absolutely as quickly as I possibly can. And while you're down there, that little thumbs up, hey, hit that for me. That makes everything possible here. Makes us meet new people, grow the channel, makes all the things that we like to keep rolling. And if this is your first time around, like maybe you just like this tag and are trying to check people out, how their first half of the year has been, or you've been here a time or two and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet.
Shame on you.
Let me tell you, no.
Shame on you.
No. That's him, not me. Let me tell you, it's so easy. Boop, it takes that long. It's a microsecond. It takes no time at all, and it feels good.
I've heard you say so.
Oh yeah, you're gonna walk away going,
I'm not sure if they'll do that.
I might need a cool compress. I might need to wipe off
What's up with you getting all hot and bothered during this video?
after you subscribe. It feels that good.
Take a shower after this.
I think maybe I should hit the showers.
You should.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, it'll feel great. It'll give you a tingle. Try it out. Let me know. In comments, because I love comments. That's it for us, I think, right? I think we did the mid-year freak out tag. I think we're finished.
I believe you did.
I feel we accomplished something.
Yeah, if you want to feel that way, sure.
Well, if nothing else, we stacked up a lot of books.
Well, we did do that.
Thank you so much. My name is John Minton. That is
Jay Kristoff.
No. Although you finally found one that kind of starts the same. Jakob, J. Kristoff.
Oh, yeah, we got close.
You did. You could almost slip that one by me.
Maybe.
But let me tell you something.
I am not.
As far as I know, you do not curse anywhere near as inventively.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Oh my God.
Wow, good for him.
No, there's phrases in there that is like, okay, I've never heard that, and it's my new favorite. Absolutely. So yeah, you got some work to do on that.
I got to do some research.
You absolutely have to do some work and research to get to.
I am Jakob Minton.
To get to that level. Thank you so much. This has been Talking Story.